For the last 13 years, I've eaten around 180 grams of protein every single day. That's over 850,000 grams of protein. Now that sounds ridiculous, but here's the thing. I'm not a bodybuilder, I'm a coach. And I just want to stay lean, build muscle, and not let my health fall apart whilst trying to build a business and just live life. But what I learned along the way could save you years of trial and error, especially if you're a busy person wanting to lose body fat, build muscle, and just transform the way you look without losing your mind. So in this video, I'll show you how I've gotten thousands of clients to do this without it taking over their entire life or without eating chicken and rice 6 times a day. Most busy people trying to lose fat are not eating enough protein, and that's why they're stuck, and here's why it matters. Protein keeps you full. Without this, you'll want to smash every snack in sight come 4 p.m. It helps you burn more calories at rest, aka has a higher thermic effect of food. Without it, you can't build and maintain muscle. You might lose weight on the scale, but it will probably just end up with the skinny fat look, not ideal. It reduces snacks and cravings, which are the real fat loss killers for most people. So how much protein do you actually need? 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight. If you're in between there, you're golden. The lower end is fine if you're currently nowhere near the amount of protein you need to be eating, but I would recommend trying to bump it closer to that higher end as these become habits. The lower end is also totally fine if you're not weight training a lot and you're not super active. The more you weight train, the more better recovery you need. That's fucking terrible English. The more you need to be closer to that 2 grams per kilo of your body weight. Before we dive into how to make this actually easy and fit your life so you can lose fat and build muscle without it controlling your entire life, eating too much protein is definitely not something you should be worried about, but it is a common question we hear from clients. I've been eating over the 2 grams per kilogram on body weight mark for pretty much a decade or more. I've never had anything bad happen. I get my blood tests done once or twice a year. They're always good. They're really good actually. I've never had any kidney or liver problems, touch wood, and I'm sweet. And there's no studies or evidence to show that if you eat too much protein, something bad's gonna happen. As long as you have healthy kidneys already, you'll be sweet. If you don't listen to me and go listen to your doctor. The next common issue is you don't need to be perfect and eat organic meats or have chickens running around in your backyard and only get the eggs from there. It can be a lot more simple than that. Now let's go through how to make this a lot easier. One thing to keep in mind is you want to try to get into a habit of having protein every single time you have a meal. I know this sounds simple, but the amount of people that come to us and just have Vegemite on toast for breakfast and then a chickpea salad for lunch and a soup for dinner, their day contains about 7 grams of protein. It's very common. So protein every meal, you're golden. All right, let's show you how to make this easier. So here's how simple it can be to build a high protein day, even if you're extremely busy. Whey protein to kick off the morning. You can throw this into smoothies, overnight oats, overnight wheat bix, hot protein oats, so many things you can do. And whey protein is cost efficient. It tastes pretty bomb. It's low calorie because it's pretty much all protein. 1 scoop is going to get you about 24 to 25 grams of protein. And it's one of the most beneficial protein sources there is. And it requires no cooking. Depending on how much protein you need each day, if you have 2 scoops in the morning in your smoothie or your oats or whatever it is, that's 50 grams of protein knocked out the park before you even leave your house to go to work. For a lot of you, that's going to be a quarter of your day, a third of your day. For some of you, it'll be even close to half of your daily intake sorted right there. Over the last 13 years of eating 180 grams of protein every day or more, this is the one thing that's made it doable and so much easier. And we never really recommend supplements to clients at all. The thing we do with most people as soon as they start, if they're not doing it, is we probably do recommend putting whey protein in their diet, in their meal plan, just because of all those reasons we just mentioned, and it instantly solves the issue of not eating enough protein most of the time. Next up, pre-cooked chicken. Now you can get whole chickens like this, or you can actually buy pre-cooked chicken breasts. There's so many decent brands out there today. It's not crazy expensive. It can be very convenient. That is the easiest way to get in protein for lunch, in my opinion. You can throw this in sandwiches with some salad, wraps. You can make a salad with it, chuck in a couple of boiled eggs, and you got even more protein from that as well. Now, of course, if you don't like pre-cooked chicken, you want to save money, then you could just cook up a bunch in advance. Personally, I recommend tenderloins, chicken tenderloins. I think they taste much better than chicken breast. Air fry them, probably taste the best. Use a bunch of seasonings, find ones that you like, try new ones. Otherwise, it is going to be dry, boring, and you're not going to want to eat it ongoing. Next up, we've got snacks. Now, the easiest way is to use no prep, high protein snacks. So things like protein bars, and by the way, any brand is fine, but just stuff like this, 20 grams of protein usually in a good bar. Make sure you check the back. Some of them have high calories and low protein, like 10. I would avoid those ones in my opinion. RTD shakes and smoothies like Rockabee's, Paul's, there's a bunch of good brands. These will give you 30 grams of protein for under 300 calories. That's really good ratios. The next is probably the best in my opinion. Greek yogurt, low fat Greek yogurt, or protein yogurts like YoPro, Chobani Fit, all that good stuff. They're usually around 15 grams per little tub and usually 100 calories or less, which is really good. Then you've got things like Paul's protein dessert snacks, Wicked Sisters high protein puddings, 15, 16 grams of protein in these little tubs. If you have 1 or 2 of these a day, that's another 30 grams of protein. If you have that, 30 grams of protein. If you have a bar, 20 grams of protein. You compare that with a piece of fruit. It's a pretty good little snack to keep you going in between lunch and dinner without, going through Macca's and blowing 2,000 calories. And then for dinner, this is personally where I would definitely just recommend cooking, even if you use pre-cooked chicken or something simple like that. For lunch, it means you've only got to cook once a day. And if you prep in advance, you've probably only got to cook meat or food once or twice a week. I'm a big fan of, you could do chicken here again, you could do fish, you could do extra lean mince. If you cook up a kilo, divide it into 5, that's 200 grams each night for dinner. And then you could swap your carb sources so you don't get super bored. You can pair it with rice and make taco bowls. You can pair it with spud-light potato to get a lot of volume, low calorie. That's what I eat every day. You could pair it with pasta, have simple spag bowl, steaks, amazing protein source, throw it in the pan, takes less than 5 minutes to cook, you're good to go. And this doesn't mean it needs to be boring, it doesn't need to be just chicken rice or steak and veg. You can make high protein burgers, high protein pizza is something that I usually eat every night. It's amazing, super high protein, tastes good. You can keep it fairly low calorie as well. So if you do have that bit of extra time or you just are starting to get bored, it doesn't need to be boring. Just don't fall into the trap of having big, heavy lunch and dinner meals that are minimal protein. I see this so often. People have massive pasta meals for dinner and then they'll think carbs are bad or pasta's a problem. That's not the problem. It's just because you didn't put any protein in the pasta and therefore you need so much more pasta, carbs and fats to help keep you full because there's minimal protein in the meal. If the protein is the main portion of the meal, you'll be golden. So how does this look in a full day of eating? I'll put an example on screen for you now using stuff like this. So a couple scoops of protein in a smoothie or some overnight oats. Simple, no prep chicken wraps for lunch, maybe steak, spag bowl, something nice for dinner. And then for a protein snack, we'll do a yogurt or two or a protein bar with some fruit. And as you can see, that's a very high protein day of eating. Very simple, very non-time consuming and minimal prep. So a high protein diet is going to help you lose body fat because it's going to help you stick to the diet because you won't be starving all the time. You will be a bit hungry in a deficit. That's a normal thing, but it'll help you stick to it because it's the most satiating macronutrient of them all, which just means protein keeps you feeling fuller than carbs and fats do. It's also got the highest thermic effect of food, which basically means your body burns calories digesting food you eat. And when the food you're eating is protein, it burns more calories than if it was carbs or fats, which is of course ideal for fat loss. Not only will it help you lose fat, it will help you build more muscle or at bare minimum, maintain the muscle you have. That way, when the body fat and your weight starts coming down, you won't end up with that skinny fat look that you probably don't want. Protein also helps you recover from hard training, which is going to allow you to train more efficiently and more if you want to, which is of course going to help you lose fat and change the way you look. There's more benefits to that. There's a ton of health benefits to protein, but we're all shallow bastards and we care more about how we look than how we feel. No, that's not true. We probably don't, but maybe you probably do. I'm not sure. Anyways, hopefully that video was helpful. If you like this one, you might like this one too, or you might not. You might think I'm a twat. Fuck this guy. I'm never watching it again. Fair enough.